Hi, Lee Phillips here. I want to talk about funding your trust. And very often I'll get people who come and say, I've got my trust, it's funded. And I funded it with $10 and other good and valuable consideration. In fact, I remember one of the early cases I had was a young man, and he came in and he was crying into my office. And I had him in and talked to him, and he says, Gramps died this morning. And Gramps had a trust, and I just wanted to make sure that Gramps' trust was okay. And I said, okay, did Gramps fund the trust? And the boy said, yes, I knew that the trust had to be funded. So when Gramps went into the hospital to die, I went to the lawyer and I said, what do we do to fund the trust? And the lawyer had typed out a statement. I hereby fund my trust with $10 and other good and valuable consideration. And I just got an email this week. Somebody says, I know how to fund my trust. I put $100 in, then when I die, my trust gets funded for my son. He knew that the trust had to be funded. But the young man who was in my office crying, Gramps had signed the statement. I hereby fund my trust with $10 and other good and valuable consideration. Didn't do a thing. They didn't understand that funding the trust means that it owns that stuff, particularly that stuff that you have to sign your name in order to transfer. If you're dead, we can't sign your name. We've got to take that asset through probate if it requires your signature in order to transfer it out, give it to somebody else. So the whole object of the trust is to fund it, but you fund it with a bank account. You put the bank account in it. You open up a new account. You put the new account in it. And the new car you buy in the name of the trust and the brokerage account. And we make out new deeds and we move the real property into the trust. And we make the trust the member of your LLC or the stockholder in your little corporation, because you have to sign your name to transfer your ownership in the LLC or your ownership in the corporation to somebody else. You're dead. We can't do that. So the whole concept of the trust is to fund it. But you gotta fund it with the stuff. $100, like the guy just wrote me and said, I'm going to fund my trust with $100. Then it'll be funded. Then when I die, everything will go into it and my son will have a trust. That doesn't work, guys. It doesn't work. I had to tell a young man sitting across the desk in my office crying that the trust was garbage. That isn't what he wanted to hear, and I didn't quite say it in that many words. I was a little polite, but basically that's what you had to say. The trust didn't do him any good. And the fact of the matter is, the far majority of living revocable trusts don't do any good. They don't avoid probate like they're supposed to. And I've got another YouTube out on Schedule A. Schedule A is crap. Would you like me to say it in English? It doesn't work. You've got to actually physically transfer the bank account into the trust. This is Lee Phillips. Don't forget to subscribe, okay? And I've been talking on funding your trust with $10 and other good and valuable consideration.